Hi guys, and welcome to another tech video with myself, Colin. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at webcams and specifically let me get this right, the Razer Kiyo Pro USB webcam. Speaking of which, here we go. So I want to check out this webcam, see what the hype is all about, see what it does, and what makes it different to the other webcams in the market. And I've got one that I'm actually going to put it up against just so that you can see what the difference is and maybe why you should be buying this webcam. So just before I go ahead and actually open the box, huge thank you to Apex Interactive SA yet again for sponsoring today's video. And if you don't know who Apex Interactive SA is, go and check them out at apexint.co.za. They are one of South Africa's largest distributors of gaming hardware, software, and lifestyle products. So let's have a closer look at the box. So as I begin to take a look at the box and, just having a look around what's on there, you can clearly see obviously the picture of the camera in front. They mention a few of its defining features. As we look to the side, they show us some of the defining features of this webcam. It has a high performance adaptive light sensor, uncompressed 1080p 60 frames per second video, HDR is enabled, it's got a wide angle lens, connects with a lightning fast USB version 3, and has flexible mounting options. So let's open the box. So as we open the box to take a look inside, we see some of the usual stuff like our info instruction pack, which contains the instruction booklet where you'll get all the do's and don'ts and how-tos around this webcam. You get a pair of cool Razer logo stickers and a transparent welcome letter. So as I'm taking the webcam out of the box, I must say that this is feeling a lot heavier and a lot more solid. And guys, it is when I am physically holding this in my hands, it is a lot bigger than your traditional USB webcams, and I'll show you against one that I have with me. The mount itself is nice and flexible, and again that sturdy solid design makes sure that the webcam remains in place. I mean, you can see this thing's going nowhere. What they've also added is what looks like a threaded hole at the bottom, and this is a great feature that's been added to the stand of the webcam because it can now be used to securely mount this to any sort of tripod you might have. So you might have a normal camera tripod, big one, or like what I'm using in this video, the Joby Gorilla tripod. So just under the webcam, there's a little flat screw with a handle. And you might be wondering, well, what does this do? Well, this is what actually allows us to securely tighten the webcam in position. So once we've angled it, left, right, or whichever way we want to, we will simply go underneath, tighten this, and then you can see the little handle that's there actually flaps down so it doesn't get in the way. The back of the webcam has the USB port. Let's quickly see what else is in the box. Of course, last but by no means least, we have our trusty USB cable, which is what we connect the webcam with to the PC. So just like in the previous video I did, it has a USB Type A connector, which plugs into your PC or laptop, and a USB Type C connector, which plugs into the webcam itself. And this is how it gets power. The added bonus here, again, is the fact that it's a braided cable, which means it's stronger and more durable. On the physical side, we can see that this webcam is a lot bigger than the normal one. Well, let's take a look by comparing it to what we would consider to be a normal webcam. This is a webcam from Ausdom, and besides it being a full HD webcam, giving us a lovely clear picture in 1080p, you can now clearly begin to see the difference. The Ausdom webcam has a built-in USB cable, and the difference in size, guys, is undeniable. What I also notice is that the lens cap itself has an embossed Razer logo, which looks beautiful. But when I take this off, this is where things get really interesting and serious at the same time. We see some of the details on the lens like full HD 60 frames per second or 60 FPS, the wide angle AF lens, and the f1 to 2.0 blah blah blah. Don't worry, I'll explain it in a second.
Yes, please.
And when you compare the two webcams, one next to the other, you can clearly see the real size difference between these two. I mean, just look at the size of the lens on the Razer webcam. In fact, this reminds me of a mirrorless or, one of those DSLR camera lenses. Both of these webcams are quite easy to mount. And as you can see with me mounting them onto my monitor, you can actually see the camera that I'm doing this video with in the background, just as a reference point to see how big the lens is and the difference between all three of them. Obviously, due to the size of the Razer, the mounting bracket is a lot larger, so just bear that in mind. So let's get into what everything on the lens actually means. So Full HD simply means that you are going to be getting a beautiful picture from this webcam. FPS refers to the frames that are recorded every second, and the higher that number is, the smoother the video is going to be, especially when you're using it in a streaming scenario. So the goal of this combination with taking Full HD, 1080p and taking your 60 frames a second, putting those two together is just to make sure that when you are streaming using this webcam, you are going to have a smooth, crystal clear picture. Now the lens itself is what we call wide angle, and that simply means that you can get more picture in your picture. AF stands for autofocus, and I was very excited about this particular feature because for the first time now you've got a webcam that is going to automatically adjust its focus according to what you are doing. So if the light suddenly goes out, what's going to happen is the lens will automatically adjust. If you switch on a light, add some brightness, the lens is automatically going to adjust. If you're moving forward, if you're moving backwards, guys, guess what? It'll automatically adjust. So this is something I normally see on, high-end DSLR and mirrorless cameras, not a webcam. When we talk about the aperture, or that f1 to 2.0, we are talking about the little hole or the little diaphragm that allows light through. Now, in most lenses, you'll see it written as the f1 to 2.0, as you see on this particular lens. Now, this is an important element because it actually affects your depth of field. This is what creates that blurry background that you have with the person sort of clear in front and the background that's slightly blurred out. Beautiful effect. One other thing again that stands out for me is the fact that this is completely plug and play. So I don't need any additional software. Plug it in and I am ready to go. So now that we've looked at all the features and I've compared it physically and just looking at the lens, I'm going to give you some footage that's going to show you side by side during the day with normal daylight what it looks like with ambient lighting that I've got over here, and then what it looks like completely in the dark, so you can see the difference. Okay guys, so now you can see what the quality of the webcams are like under normal daylight conditions. This is with a window on my right hand side, so you've got natural daylight coming through. This is taken with no other lighting except the ambient lighting that I have, which is basically a soft light that I've got in the room and the lighting that you see in the background. And then this is completely in the dark, so I've got nothing else on in this room. It is simply the light that's actually coming off the monitors in front. So guys, I hope this gives you a really good breakdown of what to expect if you're looking to buy one of these webcams. Now, I will say this, they are not cheap. However, you can see what you are getting for the price. You want quality, you're going to be paying for it. And I would just add this one thing. If you are going to be using the webcam to its full capacity with all its features, then this is definitely the way to go. But that's just my opinion. So thanks so much for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in another review video.